What's up, YouTube? I'm doing another video of the M5R2 transmission and the Thunderbird. I finally got some parts and I'm ready to put it back together, but I just wanted to share a little bit about the parts situation. So where I last left off, I took the transmission apart, discovered what had happened. The countershaft, which sits in the lower portion of the transmission, all the teeth are obviously gone in second gear. So we got first, second, third, fourth. I was all locked up in second gear, in neutral, and trying to do a big smoky burnout brake torque, and just had too much traction and was giving it way too much RPM and just too much clutch dumpage and too much power and all of it. And it just, this is not brand new parts. This is an 89 transmission. It has some mileage on it and just blew the teeth right off. Problem is, on this countershaft, you cannot replace these gears individually. This is all one machined piece. So you break anything, you just buy a new shaft. I was unable to locate a new old stock shaft because I did not want to use used parts. I preferred to get new. And I just kind of got tired of waiting. But I noticed for the F-150s and the Broncos that would have used this gearbox, this thing was almost identical. First, third, and fourth were the exact same ratio, but second gear was literally one tooth off right here. So this is not a plug and play. It's not like you could just drop it in, because you would have a problem with your opposing second gear. Let's see, flip it around. That sits on your main shaft on top, would have the wrong tooth count. So this one was a 23 tooth, this is a 24 tooth. So you've increased one tooth here, but interestingly enough, the opposing F-150 gear, which is this one, drops down one tooth. So it is a 35 versus a 36. So to keep it all straight, you've got the Super Coupe has a 36 second gear, which sits on your main shaft, 36, 23. This is going to be 35, 24. And so I thought, well, that should work, but it will change the ratio just a little bit. It's going to go from a 2.32 down to a 2.25. which is going the wrong direction. This is a really steep first gear. It's a 3.75. So if you're jumping down even further to a lower second gear, it's not really ideal. But who's going to notice the difference between a 232 or a 225? I mean, it's going to be pretty negligible, I think. And I could get new parts with the F-150. So this thing was like $140 shipped. The gear, I don't even remember. It was around $100, maybe a little bit less. This one, this new old stock second gear that I found for the Thunderbird, was $100. I think that was somewhere around $80. So I sat down with a micrometer and kind of checked all the spacing between the gears and checked, diameters and stuff, and the spline counts, and it all looks like it's the exact same. I mean, even all the oil passages and the little area where you put these detent bearings, everything is the same. Only thing is, I'm going to have to pull this race off of this shaft and press it on here. Then up front, there's another one right here. I'm going to have to get behind it with like a bearing splitter and pull it off, and then slide it down here and press onto here. And there's some really beefy Timken bearings that sit on each end to support that shaft in the case. And the final part of the puzzle was synchronizers. So I've got a set of 6 of them here, and these were offered by Mike Puckett. I'm going to leave his email. It's mikepkt@comcast.net. And you can also find him on the Super Coupe Club of America, which is sccoa.com. But anyway, there's carbon fiber material that has been laid inside of these, which is super slick. I mean, It's actually not slick. It's a trick, I guess is the word I'm trying to say. Slick is not what you want. You do not want these things to just keep spinning when you're trying to engage your gear. So you need some kind of a friction material in there. The stock ones would have had a unique friction material that was not available to the F-150s or Broncos, because when you're going at high speed, let's see, this is how it would sit on your gear. When you're going at high speed and you're jamming gears, you are forcing this thing onto this cone right here, and it's like a perfect fit. And what you're trying to do is spin the gear to the same speed so that you can lock it up and start engaging each gear. The blockers that are available for the F-150s and the Broncos don't have this material, and they just keep spinning. You know, you can push as hard as you want, but they just spin around. They're never really going to grab your gear, and if they don't, then when you try to shift, it's going to be caught like that. It's just going to, that's when you're going to hear that crunch. You want this thing to hammer into that gear and get in that orientation as quickly as possible so that your slider can go straight through and lock it up. And this is a really cool solution. I haven't used these. I've heard some good results. They were very affordable. They were like $260 for the whole set. And the first 4 gears have this material. 5th and 6th have the regular whatever coating is inside of them. You're usually not doing speed shifts from 4th to 5th or speed shifts into reverse, right? But I'm looking forward to seeing how those work. I don't know how they're going to work for me because I'm trying to do shifting at 7,000 RPM. But then again, I don't know how anything on that car is going to work at 7,000 RPM. You know, that may be the least of my issues. But the box on the bottom there, that's the Super Coupe gear. This box, that's part number for the F-150 gear. And then, I don't know if I showed earlier, but this is the counter shaft for the F-150. I think all of this is going to work, and for you Thunderbird guys, it'll give you some hope for some new parts if you don't want to be like me, just looking around for new old stock stuff. Sorry for the length of the video, but that's where I am, and I'm hoping the next video is of the transmission installed. I don't know. I don't plan on detailing the rebuild. I think there's enough other videos out there, but this is now getting me to the point where I can put it together. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Peace.